Alright, this is 13501 Indian Hollow Drive in Grafton. We are going to be doing a major cleanup here. So 2 weeks prior, we need to come out and spray a selective spray. We've got a lot of ground cover, a lot of perennials, and a lot of weeds in between them. This bed here is going to be one section we'll be working on. Spray what we can, pull what we can. This is a ground cover. We've got lilies. This we can pull. We can trim back any dead branches. We got a little tree, a couple trees here we'll pull. The purple smoke bush, we can trim that back. But again, this is ground cover, but all this can get pulled. This section can get pulled. That's a weed tree we can get pulled. This all gets cleaned out. That gets cleaned out. This we're not going to touch, but that we will. I'll walk over there. This we're not going to touch. Again, these are tall things or weeds. Trim up the burning bush. This is a weed, but this down here is sedum. Pull that. Daylily, sedum, and what's around it is a weed. All these burning bushes trim way back. And then we've got morning glory growing through a lot of the plants here. We need to get as much of that removed as possible. Weeds. We've got a couple daylilies. Clean up around them. That green and white is a plant. Weeds, lilies, weeds. Sedum, that can stay. Weeds, lilies, weed tree. We'll grab any tall weeds from here, but she said otherwise just leave it. And then we're going to mulch this portion. Triple shred black mulch, and we need to put it on thick. Blow out any debris before we do it. Again, nothing over there. This little bed here, spray and weed. We've just got some lilies and a rose bush, but it looks like everything else is just weeds. These dead sections, cut this down, let that new growth come up. Not going to do anything in there. This gravel section, I'm going to quote to spray and kill off these weeds. She wants it separate from the driveway. So we'll see 2 different quotes for spraying, and that's why. This area here, we need to spray as well as best as possible. We've got a lot of plants in here and a lot of weeds. All this needs to be weeded. This milkweed, dig it out. It spreads like crazy. She doesn't want it. This is just a turf ornamental grass. Keep that. We've got irises. These purple plants can stay. Cut back these hydrangeas. Clip off the old blooms from the peonies, but everything else clean out and weed. All this can come out. Obviously this is a flower, but we've got thistle, we've got morning glory. Pull that out. This can go, that can go, that can go. All of that can go. All of that can go. This willow, trim it up and get as much of that morning glory and vine growth out of there. All that can go. We've got some irises in here, but obviously we've got a lot of heavy weed growth. If we pull some of it with it, so be it. Peony, clip off the old blooms. This is weed. That's milkweed. Dig it out. Clean up in the daylily. Weed. Plant. This is all weed. These red, that's a plant. Any of this, clean it out. We've got some more of that lily turf, but again, if we can save it, great. If not, oh well. This is weed. The yellow plant, or the yellow flower, that's a plant. And we've got thistle in between. Pull all that. She would like mulch in this section up to like this point. The rest of it, we're not going to mulch. But we need to spray it and clean it out. This, all weeds. All weeds. They said to leave the lumber in there. They're using it as a natural something. I don't know. All of this is weeds. We've got a couple hostas here we can clean out. But all of this is weeds. All of this needs to be removed. Clip off the old blooms of the hydrangea. Clip it. Do not prune it, because there are new blooms on this. Clean all these weeds out. All of this. And if we can trim this guy up, great. This is a weed. Weed tree. Weeds. Clean it out. This lilac here, we can trim this way back. We've got some new growth coming up. We can trim it. Clean this out. And then again, this all needs to be sprayed. These little feathery yellow plants, that's a plant. This morning glory needs to come out. Everything behind it, come out. This needs to come out. This is a peony, but we've got morning glory all up in it. That needs to be removed. All of that, remove. All of this, remove. And then this Weigelia is absolutely entangled in morning glory. We need to get as much of that removed as possible and then trim that way back. Clean all that out. Trim. Get the morning glory out. Get that removed. We've got some irises if we can save them. Same thing with this Weigelia. Trim it out, and we've got a weed tree growing in here. We can get that out. Clean all that out, and then she said to cut that peony down to the ground. She thinks it's diseased. I'm going to give, oh, I've got morning glory attacking me. I'm going to give them a separate quote for cutting this tree back. Everything up here is dead, but we've got new growth coming from the stump. So I'm going to give her a quote to just cut off these main branches so the new growth comes up. So if you guys are confused by what I mean, cut this down to the ground, cut this down to the ground, cut this down to the ground, and cut this down to the ground. So we'll let the new stuff come up. She may or may not choose to do that, so just pay attention to the line item. If we can spray the paver stones while we're here, but nothing around the corner, nothing there, but over here, this area too, we need to spray this with a selective spray. The green and whitish plant, that's a ground cover, that can stay. We've got some hostas in here, but the majority of this is morning glory and weeds. So get removed what you can and try and keep that if you can. Obviously there is a lot of stuff in here we may pull, but it is what it is. That's a hosta that can stay. The fern can stay. But that's a weed. Pull what you can. If you have questions, you can ask the homeowner. Nothing over there, nothing there. And then again, I'm going to quote the driveway portion separate. She may decide to do different things. So, but that's it.